Hey guys, welcome back to another YouTube video on my YouTube channel. This is a direct continuation of yesterday's solo cash cup video. So if you haven't seen that video, please watch it. It'll be the first link in the description. It's actually a great tutorial on how to get to endgame very quickly and very easily with 0 kills. And it'll be no headache, utilizing this very OP Spider-Man item. It's a really good tutorial featuring Hijoe from EU, who did really well in the solo cash cup and made lots of money. This video is actually going to be slightly different though. What do you do in the solo cash cup when you don't get the Spider-Man item? There's a lot of people actually landing on the item where it spawns and they just take it away. Well, Hijoe shows us his magic in an extremely high-elo lobby without the Spider-Man item, with a bunch of pros in the exact same lobby. And actually, my student who I'm teaching happens to be in that exact same lobby, and this gives us a very unique opportunity to learn what a pro does to succeed compared to a definitely skilled but more intermediate player. We can actually compare the two constantly. We're going to be switching perspectives all the way throughout the game, so you can see what you're possibly doing wrong as well in your solo cash cup. Let's dive right in. Checking around, making sure he's uncon. I think he attempts to go for the Spider-Man this game, but doesn't get it. So this is actually a good example. Like if that's the case and he doesn't get the Spider-Man, we can then cover the other alternative, which is how do you play the end game without Spider-Man? And remember what I said, I think he succeeded because he has movement, and that's the point. Like he might not need Spider-Man now. He's gonna check. So that's actually cool. It's a small detail. If you land here, you can see if there's a Spider-Man without dropping down. So he checked everything. I think there's a spot here on that wall and like either here or here. So he checks everything and doesn't like continue to drop down. You don't need to drop down to see if there's a Spider-Man. And he also realized like he just doesn't need it, honestly. If he just gets 555 and follows the same pattern that we have here, except for this part, right? So let's remove this part. This is still his plan. Instead of this, it's launch pad, first moving, land like 70% of the way with probably like 135 builds, and pepper until end of second moving or so, right? And then step 5, maybe you're 20 to 30 builds left. Start looking for impact. This is how easy it is. You should not look for an impact in here unless it's very free. And when I say very free, I mean very free, like no risk, right? You need to minimize your risk, because in a game where like a lot of random things can happen to you, if you play in a risky way, you will get unlucky. That's how it is. You will get like some random stuff happening to you, and you'll be confused how it happened. So start playing in a way that's extremely unrisky.
Do you know why in some high elo games no one is staying on high ground?
Some people.
I don't know why.
The main reason is because, first of all, it's a little risky. Again, going back to risk, to start taking high ground from half, because at that point in solos specifically, you don't have the mats to hold it all the way through. And also, a lot of people want to go for height, so people don't start in half. In terms of like throughout the end game, the problem isn't even that people don't want high ground. The problem is no one knows height is free. It's almost impossible to be constantly aware of height when you have all this other stuff to do in endgame. If they want to check for height, it sort of looks like this: rotate, box, quick check on height. Right? The problem is this actually takes a lot of time, so you can't really check height while you're doing this. Make sense? And if you don't have Spider-Man, rotate is a even longer. If you have Spider-Man, you can check height while you're Spider-Maning. You can just turn your camera. But rotate, you have to build above you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're like really good player or not. It's just impossible if you're like playing mid ground, and you're playing solos. And it's not like a mistake. It's just they're busy doing something else. They should check as much as they can when they're free, like when they're boxed up. So plays really safe, pretty central and second zone, but more importantly, he's on the side that's dead. Like if you look at this cluster of people, he's on the south side. This is really nice because then he has a lot of space to like walk around and rotate if he needs to. Let's see where you are, because you're actually in this game, right? We need to watch both of you in parallel. You see the difference though? I know you had to farm metal because you had to get Spider-Man. Yes, that's exactly right. I think this is fine, right? It's okay to be late to zone here because of this Spider-Man item. So you just need to get your mats up and then get into zone, and probably sit somewhere on edge. I don't think you have the leverage to get to chonkers all the way, right? Because you'll be late. So you shouldn't try to force chonkers, and I don't think you did. I think you played this relatively fine. All right, Spider-Maning, getting forward, get past Mr. Savage, and then get into zone. Do you see the difference between your metal and his metal?
I didn't see mine.
Yep, so you were 551. and he is 555. This part of the game, there's something wrong. We need to figure out what it is. We need to figure out how to get yourself 555 right now. Unless you actually fix it right now, but I don't think you get 500 metal.
No, I get like 300 maybe.
Yep. And I'm telling you, those last 20 builds is very important. That's why people max out their mats. All pros max out their mats here and make a very big deal to do it. So let's look at where Hijoe is. Up here. He's in zone and he's just chilling. He's going deeper because he doesn't want to be edge because he doesn't have Spider-Man. If he had Spider-Man, he would be completely okay with like sitting where he was. But he just goes deeper. 3 farms and he's 555. But he's making it a very big deal to actually be 555, not like 554. Right? It matters. It matters a big deal. Go back to you. Get into zone. You have decent amount of mats, and this is not, again, like we said before, like we watched this game already. This is not the reason why you lost. Main reason you died is the walls. Let's see how this guy rotates. And we want to learn because I don't think you'll be able to get 10 out of 10 games Spider-Man. Sometimes it's just out of your control. Maybe Bugle doesn't have Spider-Man and you just don't get it, right? Like whatever. In this case, like you need to play how Hijoe's playing, which is have other forms of movement and be very, very careful and safe. And he just chills. He's at zone, waiting to see half pull. Go back to you. You rotate into half because Spider-Man's obviously very broken, but look at your mats. My point is, even if you didn't make this mistake of blocking up your sides, this is actually a hard game to win. And Hijoe, if you had Spider-Man, how many mats do you think you would have at this point? You would have 145 or like 140 or 135, somewhere around there, right? That's the point. It's a big difference. So where do these mats go? That's what we have to figure out. Because obviously you didn't have like extremely like a decent amount of mats, but let's see. Started with 100 here. How did you get down to 80? That's 20 builds. That's a lot.
Yeah, I made 2 boxes plus some else. I wanted 2 boxes.
Yeah. So instead of 2 boxes, in my personal opinion, if you want to save more like actual mat count, this should just be metal, and I promise you'll feel safe. In 3rd, 4th, 5th circle, just have 1 box metal habit, and I think it's a lot better. And then obviously, as we discovered before, the mistake here is just we're getting to wall on the side. Also, I want you to recognize this idea. The reason you feel like you have to play aggressive and look for stuff is because of your mat count. You don't feel confident. If you were 135 builds here, you would have no problem sitting in your cone.
Yeah.
So as we talked about, we really want to slow it down. You don't want to make this mistake again, especially if you like make round 2 and then this is the mistake you make. It would be very, very embarrassing, right? You don't want this to happen, right? So in this case, you just need to be less exposed. It's not even the fact that this guy ran in, it's just the fact that you're exposed from everyone, right? Someone could spray you as well. There's a lot of risk. Like I said, minimize your risk, and placing 2 builds is a good way to do that. Right here. Good aim by your end, right? But not good enough. Let's watch Hijoe here. You know what's interesting? He uses his pad, yeah, to get into half. This goes into, in my opinion, I feel like he had a very hard rotate, right? Because he didn't have Spider-Man, so he had to use his pad. Like, think about where he was based. He's like all the way over here somewhere. He wants to recycle a pad because first moving is very, very long. So if you can recycle a pad here, you'll get away with a lot. So he's just sitting on height, trying to delay. And honestly, stealing a pad, the best place to do it is on height. Because if you think about it, this is what your view looks like. And tell me, it's very easy to see a pad from this angle. Whereas this angle.
Yeah, I know.
Right? So like, this is very, very easy. Try to do this. Make a point of doing this if you don't have Spider-Man. Just go up. Your intention is not to keep height, it's just to look for a pad. Right, sees a pad. Really good play. Sacrificing 50 HP or so to get a lot of mats conservation, right? Save all your mats possible. It's okay to sacrifice your HP for that. It's easily fixable with just like 1 kill. It all comes down to de-risking your game, right? Change the amount of risk you take. The only fight he took in early to mid is the one he had to off spawn, and that's it. Everything else doesn't need to, right? This part should be empty. If you have kills here, you're either doing something wrong or you're just playing too risky. In this section, he gets killed because he needs to. It's either really free, like probably this one. I don't think he runs out of mats. And then these 2 are probably because he needs mats. He accidentally ran into. Oh, he sees height. No way.
Yeah, his high is free.
Yeah, it's very free. That's good. He's getting griefed. This is something that can happen on height, so he just gives it up. I think he can take it here. Yeah, no one wants to go for it. No one seems to be griefing him. Good work. He's pressuring second height, but the point is it's very difficult to get an impact. He goes aggressive on the beam that he goes for. That's actually really good. It's never risk isolated that you should use in your judgment, and it's never reward isolated that you should use in your judgment. You should use both combined. Risk reward. So yes, jumping in at this point is a sort of risk. He's only at what? 155 HP. This guy's 100. But he is playing aggressive to get that kill because it feels like he has a lot of mats. You can see his body language almost, right? And it's worth it. Now look at his mat. Now height is completely free. He won the game. See that? Now he's gonna very confidently take height. He has pepper going too, so it's actually really easy to tarp across. Connect. There you go. It goes up a hill. Actually, he should notice this. He should connect here as well. And he needs to connect to the hill eventually. Height is like even more of like an important thing to hold because of the hill. Because there's like a 50% chance the zone pulls into this direction, which immediately kills everyone. Whoever's on height wins. Definitely considering this. So he connects. He just needs to maintain height. I would actually go up a little bit higher here. Yes, there we go. There we go. No launch pattern can actually take height at this point now. This is really good play. It's obvious, but good play. Yeah. Okay, and zone pulls in a safe direction for everyone on the map, so the game's not over yet. He still has work to do. If it pulls on the hill, like if it pulls in this direction where my mouse is, game's over. He wins the game. He's sort of saving his metal for a box, so you should use wood here. I agree. You should never sort of run out of your hard mats. Always have enough hard mats to box once in a sort of emergency situation. Zone pulls north. So it doesn't pull this way. Everyone, again, gets really lucky. Honestly, he had several chances to get a really lucky zone and win the game right then and there. But in this case, it doesn't happen. Unlucky for him. So he has enough mats to succeed. Therefore, his win condition is to literally stay alive. You don't need anything. Again, de-risk your game. Don't take as many risks as you do. Almost everyone in Fortnite is heavily skewed towards taking risks. If you watch Zayd's stream back in the day, is something he always said. Take as little risk as you can and only take risks that you need. This is where risk reward comes in. This is very, very important. And I think everyone can succeed in solo cash scripts if they just apply this. So obviously, I think there's a little bit of like a missed timing here. You can sort of third party and spray down and open this up as this last fight is happening. If it's top 3, you sort of want to make sure you're like pressuring while these two are fighting. It's a very short time window, but if you can sort of do that, the fight will be very easy. Regardless, this guy's very back storm, even tanking storm, and Hijoe's about to piece everything. He can even grab this wall right here from up here without dropping down if he's insane. Regardless, really good kill that's coming up here. This guy, it's over at this point. HP advantage is too big. All Hijoe has to do is continuously spray from up here, so this guy has 0 chance to heal. That's it. That's that simple. Again, de-risk your game. Don't go for the box fight. Don't jump in. Right? You can start pressuring closer because of HP advantage, but you don't have to risk. So honestly, I think his thought process is instead of wasting the last 15 bullets and only having attack, let me save this for the final fight. Like the final engagement that happens, let me just save these. I think that's what he's thinking. Insane awareness grab the match, but I think it's just over at this point. Oh, actually, he messes up. I think his thought process is, you know, go for the match, but also deny the enemy the mats. Like the enemy could get a lot of mats from this. It could be a lot. You don't really know. And then crank for height. One thing I want you to notice is everyone complains about this gun. Attack.
Yeah.
Hijoe just won the game with it. My point is, even without Spider-Man in solos, like, you don't really need insane guns, bro. You use SMG. On that one impact kill, this was the turning point to get a lot of mats, right? He uses SMG. You don't need, like, the foundation. You don't need a purple or gold gun. You just need a good spray weapon, which is SMG, or you just need, like, an SMG in the first place. I don't even think you need a blue SMG. I think you could have done the exact same thing with the gray SMG, to be completely honest. This is why decision-making trumps everything. Like, him having a gray SMG does not deny him this kill, like, at all. And if you watch this guy, what does he do that's better than everyone else? He completely de-risks his game. That's it.
Yeah.
That simple. If you're gonna take one thing away from all of these gameplay and all of this VOD review, is to de-risk your game. That should be the biggest lesson.